Checking in with Ainsley McPhail, who is spending a lovely, picturesque morning at the Buehler Art Gallery. Ainsley, what have you got for us now?
Well, now I am learning, Catherine, about the difference between stained glass and fused glass. And Anna, the artist behind Heliophile, joins us now from the Buehler Art Gallery. Okay, let's start with the fused glass. This here is the only stained glass piece in this exhibition. How is it curated and how do they differ?
So the fused glass is really about layering glass and heating it up in the kiln until it fuses together. And the process of it is really about cutting different pieces of glass, picking the color, making the shapes, and then layering. So you'll see there's some embossed, some of the glass is a bit on top of the other glass, but then some of the glass is actually in the transparent glass. So it's really about layering and fusing it together. And the stained glass is really a completely different approach where you're using lead lines. You're still cutting the glass, but it's, held together by these lead lines that are in this frame. And it doesn't get, it doesn't go through the process of going through a kiln. It is what it is, the glass. And some of the glass that's in the fused glass looks a little bit like the glass that you see there. It hasn't been melted down again. Yeah.
I feel like I'm most familiar with stained glass because of all those years going to Catholic church and just having small eyes looking at how beautiful it is. When it comes to bringing that light in and color, what did you have in mind? Is that what you had in mind when you curated these pieces?
So I was always interested in working with something that had luminosity, and I've been curious about glass for a long time as an artist. And with the opportunity to have this exhibition here, I thought this would be a great time to try and go into that direction and also work with the space. And if there were big, huge, large windows, maybe I would have done more stained glass, or I thought maybe I would have done more stained glass. But in the process, I discovered fused glass, which I thought was also a very interesting way of working. So you'll see that I experimented with both for this specific exhibition. Yeah.
And the imagery, for what stands out to me is the rooster on the bottom here. Why did you fit that one in there?
So this work is really about sort of waking up on a farm, like the first morning light that you hear, the rooster calling. And my grandfather grew up on a farm, and he also had a lot of roosters in his home as decorative items. So I included that in this work kind of as a little what's it called? Inspiration. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna. And you know what? Speaking of her grandfather, he was the inspiration behind this whole exhibition, a prominent architect in our community who had passed away in 2022. More on that in the 8 o'clock hour.